All right. So I've got a new story to read to you or with you that I thought was kind of interesting. And the story goes, are Americans getting financially dumber? It's hard to say. So it says, financial literacy in this country has steadily declined over the last 12 years, according to a recent study. But the root cause remains elusive. In 2021, the average respondent correctly answered 2.6 out of 5 financial literacy questions, according to the findings from the FINRA Foundation National Financial Capability Study that surveyed nearly 30,000 U.S. adults, down from 3.0 out of 5 questions in 2009. Here's my question. How the fuck did you answer half of a question right? Like, don't we work in solid numbers? Like, if there's 5 questions, how do you answer a question half right? Like, what is this, A, B, C, D? Like, I don't even understand that. But anyway, high financial literacy was considered answering more than 3 correctly. Okay. Why financial literacy is declining. Its correlation with smart money behaviors and how to improve all is vexing experts who hope any connection can ultimately help more folks reach financial security. The 14% drop in financial literacy from 2009 to 2021 is certainly notable, but much more surprising is the 21% increase in the number of don't know responses to the financial literacy quiz questions over the same time. FINRA Research Director Matola told Yahoo Money, "We do not yet fully understand why so many more people are reporting 'I don't know' in recent years. One hypothesis is that the growing complexity of our financial world could indicate that people are increasingly aware of their own knowledge limitations." Well, first of all, here's my problem before I even go on. You most likely are reading this or listening to this or hearing this on a smartphone, an iPad, or a computer. You have all of the information on the earth that has like ever existed with very few exceptions is right there with you in your hand. If you don't know what a derivative is, all you got to do is go on YouTube and say, what is a derivative? If you don't know what interest is, all you got to do is type what is interest on fucking Google. If you don't know what it is, you could type it what is interest on YouTube. You could type what is it on Yahoo. There is no excuse at this point to not understand financial literacy. And I'll be perfectly honest. I personally don't believe that financial literacy being taught in high school would make a very big difference. Now, there's a reason for that. I believe that most high schoolers, whether it's hormones or whether it's just lack of focus, even if you taught them financial literacy in high school, it really wouldn't matter because they're not applying it. I believe financial literacy begins when you get your first job and you see your first paycheck and you see the taxes taken out of it. Because for the rest of your life, that's what you're going to be staring at. It doesn't matter what job you're on. That's what you're going to be staring at. You're going to be staring at W-2 withholding. So the first thing the kid is going to ask is, well, why the fuck are they taking money from me? Who are these people? At which point somebody needs to explain to you, yes, well, the government, says that you're working, so they're going to take such and such amount of tax. Not only that, but they're also going to take something out for Social Security. The kid's going to say, well, what is Social Security? None of this shit means anything when you're in high school. It's like trying to teach a middle schooler physics. And physics is a type of math that you actually need if you plan on getting a decent job in engineering of any type. So the bottom line to me is, number one, you have all the access to any of this information you need right in the palm of your hand, right in your laptop, right in your computer. But second of all, once you start actually working and you understand the relationship of your work to your pay, and you understand the relationship of your work to your pay to your taxes, that right there is where financial literacy begins. But let's see what's happening in America right now. You've got kids living with their parents. Nothing wrong with that. That's what they're supposed to do. But you've got parents who are spending an inordinate amount of money on their kids that they never should have been spending in the first place. Buying your kid a cell phone is a fucking stupid thing to do. Now, as soon as I say that, you're just going to ignore me and you're going to turn me off. Okay, fine. Well, when you go broke, because you're paying $100 a month for a cell phone that your kid is taking to school so that they can ignore what they're learning in school, well, then that's when maybe you'll be ready to hear me. The reality is these companies, T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T, whatever, they've convinced you that your kid has to have a fucking phone. They've convinced you to go out and spend ridiculous amounts of money on a kid. Like this whole shit that I'm hearing about, oh yeah, well, it takes like $300,000 to raise a kid. Since when the fuck do you pay $300,000 up front for anything? They may mean that, okay, over the lifetime of the kid being a kid, it may cost you that much. At which point I say, well, listen, I think we could trim that $300,000 out. Why don't you show me all of the details of that $300,000 and I'll show you where we can cut some fucking trim off. Because if they're oh, well, your kid's got to have a cell phone. No, the fuck they don't. Oh, well, your kid has to go away to college. No, the fuck they don't. Oh, but what about a car? Your kid has to have a car. No, the fuck they don't. That's where I'm coming from. But y'all ain't ready to hear that shit. That's why y'all stay fucking broke. That's why. So y'all don't want to hear that shit. But that's okay. Listen, I got nothing. Whatever you want to do, you do. You work your money. You make your money. You work. If you decide that you want to put $400 and $500 sneakers on your kids' feet, no, that's not listen, you do what you want to do. If you want to put an iPhone 14 into your kid's hands for bringing in C- fucking average grades, that's fine. It's not my kid. You do whatever you want. But when you turn around and ask the government for more money because you need more money because you don't have any money, yeah, that's when I get involved. And that's when I say, fuck that, I'm voting the other way. No. But see, that's where we are right now. The reason why you're financially illiterate is because you don't care. That's why. That's what it is. It's called, there's a word for that. I love teaching new words. It's called apathy. APATHY. It means I don't give a fuck. It's saying apathy or apathetic is the nice way of saying I just don't give a fuck. Okay, so last time I taught you the word enemy. This time I taught you apathy. So I hope you're learning something. Anyway, financial literacy quiz. Here we go. To evaluate respondents' financial literacy, the 2021 NFCS used 7 quiz questions. Let's speed up just a little. The questions ran the gamut of asking about compounding interest. Well, I don't pay interest. When I get my credit card statement, long before the month ends, I pay every single other night. I've even made YouTube shorts to show you my discipline. My credit score is 850 for a reason. I don't run revolving balances. The bank will never look at me and be like, hey, yeah, this dude hasn't paid his bill this month. No, not me. That's why I have an 850 credit score. That's why I can walk into a bank and say, I want that. Give me that. That's why. So but it's racist. They're discriminating against me because my credit score. Yeah, well, if your credit score is a 600 or 700, you ain't getting it. Period. And if I wish I was that bank manager just to tell you, your credit is a 5 something. We're not giving you this. Come back when your credit is 750, and then you can get this. But that's the reason why financial literacy is so bad. Because you're dealing with people who've been appeased all their life. Mommy, I want a new cell phone. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll just go out and get the iPhone 14. Mommy, I want a new Xbox. How much is it? Well, it's $5.99, and the hard drive is another $100, and another controller is about $59.99, and the game Spider-Man's about $69.99, but that's a digital download, and I think I had some GameStop points for the last game he bought me. I think the total is going to be about $759.99. Okay. And then you just go out and buy the shit. Mommy, I want to play PlayStation 5. Well, how much is PlayStation 5? Well, you gotta wait on the line for a couple of days. You maybe have to wait outside because, GameStop, they get the shipments. I think it's every Tuesday. So that means you gotta go out there and wait online on Monday night. But yeah, as far as the system, I think the system's about I think it's about $5.99. I'm not even sure. But the controller, Billy needs a controller too. So you're going to have to pay another $69.99 for a new controller, because they got the dual shock analog with 6-axis and motion sensors. And the controller, the buttons, they actually push back against your fingers. So I think in total, it's going to cost you about, and then you got to maybe pay the scalper price. I think it's going to be about $1,000. Okay. And then you just go out and buy the shit. That's why you're financially illiterate, right there, because all you do is appease. That's it. You don't know how to say, I'll tell you what, bring me in a report card with straight fucking A's and then I'll think about it. You don't know how to say that shit. Christmas is coming. Very soon, Christmas is coming. I see all these parents, their kids haven't done shit to afford nothing. They haven't earned anything, and these parents lined up. They're in my way. Like when I go into like Walmart, they're in my way because they're trying to buy the PlayStation 5. They're trying to get that Xbox. They're trying to get the Ninja Turtles Cowabunga package. That's what they're trying to buy. And y'all in my way to appease some kid that's bringing home D's. Or probably not even going to class. But anyway, y'all ain't trying to hear that shit. So anyway, let's see. Where are we? Suppose you had $100 in a savings account and the interest was 2% a year. After 5 years, how much do you think you would have in the account if you left the money to grow? The possible answers included more than 102. Well, obviously it's more than 102. Exactly 102, less than 102. And I don't know. Now, how fucking stupid is somebody who's going to pick I don't know on a question this simple? I have to wonder at this point, do you speak English? Because that's another problem. We got people taking these tests and they can't fucking speak English. So that's a big problem. Another was, imagine that the interest rate on your savings account was 1% per year and inflation was 2% per year. After 1 year, how much would you be able to buy with the money in this account? Answers range from more than today, exactly the same, less than today, I don't know. Another question. Do you think the following statement is true or false? Buying a single company stock usually provides a safer return than a stock mutual fund. The results indicate that those with higher financial literacy are more likely to have taken steps to plan for their long-term financial future, such as calculating retirement savings. Needs 52% compared to 29% among those with lower financial literacy, and having a retirement account 70% versus 43%. They are 23% more likely to spend less than their income and 26% less likely to use high-cost forms of borrowing than those who display low financial literacy. So what does this say again? It says they are 23% more likely to spend less than their income. People with high financial literacy, i.e. rich people. The funniest thing to me about rich people is real rich people. I'm not talking about these fucking kids that come into money all of a sudden and they just want to start flashing it. No. Really rich people really don't spend much money. In fact, consumption is lower among rich people than it is among poor people. Now, granted, there are some of these people out there buying billion-dollar yachts, and they're buying Bugattis, and they're buying Lamborghinis, they're buying McLarens, and they're buying Ferraris. There are some of those people doing that. But considering those people have so much money, it's not a big deal. Because, for them, a $300,000 car when they're living in a multi-million-dollar mansion or something, it's just not a really big deal. Then there's a lot of those people who are leasing those vehicles because, to say that something costs $300,000 or $500,000, but not to mention the fact that they're only paying on it for a couple of years and it's only costing them $3,000 or $4,000 and they have a very short-term lease. Well, that gives you the wrong impression about that person because a lot of these people, rich people, lease most of these things. They know that these are depreciating assets. Most of them lease where they can. Most of these Bugattis you see being driven around, most of these things are not financed. These things are leased. These people, and the lease on a Bugatti or something, that thing is like $40,000 a month. However, $40,000 a month is a hell of a lot different than spending $4 million up front. So, that's the reality of it. But anyway, financial education programs are one piece of the puzzle. How successful financial literacy efforts truly are is often batted about. There's no credible evidence that these financial education programs actually give people the tools that they need to protect themselves or to make optimal choices for their own situation and values. Lauren Willis, Associate Dean for Research and Professor of Law, said in a recent financial literacy webinar hosted by the Financial Access Initiative. Okay. The market changes so quickly that things we teach people, even habits, often end up being outdated. And that's a very good point. If you really think about it, before 2001, you wouldn't have heard the word mortgage-backed securities or derivatives or double derivatives. In fact, if I go back just not even that long ago, you wouldn't have heard the word Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. Things that were obvious Ponzi schemes that they tried to lie. They tried to say that these things are not correlated to the actual stock market when in fact they are. They tried to say that these things are hedges against inflation when in fact they aren't. It moves just like the NASDAQ. It moves just like a tech stock on the NASDAQ. These things offer no financial security whatsoever except to the very few people who got into the Ponzi scheme in the very beginning. El Salvador is looking for the other 60% of their money. Elon Musk lost 60% of the money he invested. Michael Saylor lost $1 billion and had to step down. But all of these people, oh yeah, we going to the moon. We going to Jupiter. We going to Pluto. We going to Saturn. Bitcoin. All of a sudden, 60% of that shit disappeared. Where the fuck are these people now? Where are they? Where are all those scammers? Where are all those people I had to argue with on these stupid YouTube forums, these stupid panels with people playing talk show hosts? Where are they now? Where's that XRP million? Where's my $1 million XRP holders? Where are they? Where's my Dogecoin millionaires? Where are they? Huh? Where are they? Where? You know what? Wait a minute. Whoa. I'm forgetting something. The Shiba Inu boat party is supposed to be coming up in, I think, about a week or two. The Shiba Inu boat party, the yacht party. It was actually promised to us for the past 2 summers, but it's supposed to be coming up this September. Well, I got to get my shorts and my goggles and everything, and I got to be dressed to impress for the Shiba Inu boat party that I was promised. I nearly forgot about the Shiba Inu boat party. How the hell did I do that? Where are these people now? The problem with financial literacy, in my opinion, is it really depends who's teaching it. Let me tell you something. There's some people out there who model themselves after certain investors. Oh, I'm a Warren Buffett investor. I'm a Charlie Munger investor. I'm a Peter Schiff investor. I'm a Jim Cramer investor, which means you obviously lost a lot of money. I'm a Michael Saylor style investor. I invest right behind Michael Saylor, so that means you lost like a lot of money too. In my opinion, especially with what this talks about, the market changes so quickly that things that we would teach people, even habits, often end up being outdated. I don't model myself after anyone else. I look for the general rules that seem to work, and I follow the general rules. Like, for instance, there's some basic rules. Buy low, sell high. Buy on the rumor, sell on the fact. Be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful, which is basically the same as buy on the rumor, sell on the fact. It's just another fancy way of saying it. The reality is some of the most basic rules can help people make money. You don't need to be because first of all, then the question is, who is that person modeled after? Who did they take after? No, the reality is there's some basic, simple rules of capitalism that always apply. Buy low, sell high. You can't make it. 4 words. I've said this before. When you make something complicated, that means that there's something wrong with it. What Einstein says, the best person is the one who's able to take a very complicated idea and make it simple enough for anybody to understand. That's the role of a teacher. And these dating roaches and these crypto gurus and all these people online who try to make you pay money for a course so that they can tell you some bullshit that you should already know. The reality is, when you make something very, very simple in 4 words, buy low, sell high, 4 words, how do you go wrong? Buy low, sell high. How do you go wrong? It's 4 words. Y'all ain't trying to hear this. I don't know. Anyway, it says if regulators can't keep up with the speed of financial innovation, we can't expect educators to do so either. And we certainly can't expect their students to. Just because you can even calculate compound interest does not save you from a bank who has highly detailed information about your online behavior. Well, first of all, my online behavior means absolutely nothing. The only thing that the bank is worried about is, number one, what is my job history? Number two, what is my credit history? Number three, what is my credit score? Number four, how much money do I have in assets? And number five, what am I planning to either borrow or what am I planning to do with the bank? What do I want from the bank? I might not be going there for a loan. I might be going there for an investment purpose. So the reality is, I would actually argue most of these bankers, most of these people who work in the banks, most of these people are not financially illiterate in some cases. You want to prove to me you're financially illiterate? Show me your tax returns. Show me your credit report. Just by looking at those 2 things, I know whether you're financially illiterate or not. If you come and look at mine, I can show you a 6-figure salary and I can show you an 850 credit score. And I could show you 3 different credit scores from all 3 credit bureaus, and all of them are over 800. Right away, you go, oh, fuck, this motherfucker must know what he's talking about. Meanwhile, these people who are running around like roaches and rats, and when the light comes on, they hide. These people out there, oh, yeah, just put your money in Dogecoin. Just put your money in Shiba Inu. Oh no, listen, Cardano has a sale coming up. Get the fuck out of here. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. It really is. It's just absolutely disgusting. And then there's also other situations, like we're in a situation right now. I refuse. First of all, this government has already proven that they lied to your face. They told you inflation wasn't transitory, or they told you it was transitory. It depends what day of the week it is. And then you find out that they're lying to you. We're in a situation right now that's really stagflation. The GDP numbers that they're quoting to you are fake. The GDP numbers that they're talking about is consumer spending. Real growth is production, not spending. The other issue, government policies have been so bad for so long that they've created a situation where the economy isn't really getting much better. They've made gas prices lower artificially simply by reducing gas tax, and they've also tapped into the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Europe is about to freeze its ass off, so that's going to have fluctuations with our gas market here and our energy market in general, because Vladimir Putin cut off Nord Stream 1. So the simple fact is, I don't believe a word this government says. I don't believe a word of it. I look and see what's going on, and I judge for myself. I don't believe anything they're saying. This is not even a recession. This is stagflation that you're in. That's what you're in. You're in a high inflationary environment with poor government policies and low economic production. That's what you're involved in. Now, you could say, oh, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not the government. You're not President Biden. President Biden knows what's best for me. Kamala Harris knows what's best for me. Nancy Pelosi knows what's best for me. Okay, yeah, well, shit, if you'd rather listen to Miss Pelosi with her Nvidia stock trades and you'd rather listen to her than me, oh, okay, cool, no problem. I don't have a problem with it, no problem. Anyway, it's important to note that better financial knowledge is not a panacea. He said other factors like income. Well, first of all, income is number one. If you're making $1 million a year, as long as you're not wasting that money and as long as you have some idea of how to save some of that money, you're fine. There's a lot of millionaires out there who live damn near paycheck to paycheck because they're busy chasing things they can't afford. Apartments they can't afford. Like if you make $1 million a year, but you go and buy like a $30 million apartment, chances are you're going to have problems. Your chances are you're going to have some kind of economic problems. And the crazy thing is, there really are apartments that are $30 and $50 million. There really are. And shit, some of them, they're places that cost you $1 billion to buy. There are $1 billion houses out there. It's insane, but it's true. I mean, the land, the taxes are insane. And if you go after certain things, it doesn't matter if you're a millionaire. You can go broke. What else? Let's see. Where am I? Where was I? The core circumstantial. Okay, wait. The income, educational attainment, systemic racism, and lack of access to financial products and services are tied to indicators of lower financial capability. Such factors need to be addressed by policymakers and advocates who want to improve people's financial capability. If I could teach a course and I could teach financial education, if I had a course myself and I was a college teacher and I had that, let me tell you something. One of two things is going to happen. Either people are going to get fed up with what I'm telling them and they're going to just walk out, or they're going to listen and the banks are probably going to come after me for costing them so much money. One of the two things is going to happen. The average American wastes so much. It's no wonder they're broke. It's no wonder. They waste so much. But that's just what it is. Let's see, where are we? Okay, the core issue is that while financial savvy is essential, circumstances make it hard to get a grip on some of these challenges for a swath of the population. Amid these overall gains in financial capability, there are segments that continue to struggle, particularly younger adults, those with lower income, because you got lower income, and at lower education levels. Black African Americans. I'm the black man with the 850 credit score who paid off his student loans 10 years early, who's got 2 houses, who's got rental tenants, who flies around the world seeing the best parts of the planet in business class. I'm the black man you don't hear about. I'm the one that doesn't exist. I'm the one that does not exist. They just want to focus on Big Booty Keisha and her 2 children, who probably by 2 different men, and how she's a single mom and she's working to pay off her student loans while she's going to get a PhD. That's who they're worried about. They're not worried about me. I don't exist. They're worried about Big Booty Keisha, and they're worried about Shaniqua, who's screaming racism because she can't get a loan to buy into a neighborhood where she's redlined out of it. And her credit score is a 602. But anyway, you're not going to hear about me. I don't exist. Forget me. Forget I exist. Forget by doing the right thing and doing it better than everybody else. I don't exist. Right. Okay. The reality is that many disadvantaged people face hurdles and barriers that many others do not. He said, for example, those whose parents were on stronger financial footing are more likely to have learned about money from their families as well as have better financial outcomes later in life themselves. Therefore, these do not reflect a direct link between financial literacy and financial behaviors. It takes money to make money. Making good financial choices mostly comes from having enough money that good financial choices are possible, especially having enough money to make a few mistakes. This is the way all of us really learn how to manage our finances, not by taking a class. Managing Director of Financial told U.S. Money, Timothy Ogden. People with more money have more experience with financial tools and services and therefore have higher financial literacy. Telling someone they should have an emergency fund or save instead of borrowing presumes they're making more than enough money to cover basic expenses and enjoy life on a regular basis, he said. People don't borrow from payday lenders because they don't know how to compound interest works. They're borrowing because they don't have enough money and they don't have other cheap alternatives. Teaching them about the importance of retirement planning isn't going to change the need to pay the rent or the electric bill this month. And I do agree with that. If you're dealing with people who are on such a low level of understanding, but you know what? And I do have issues with that because no matter how, so I'll be perfectly honest. I've had friends who they'd get student loan checks. They'd go to a fucking check cashing place. Now, first of all, when you're getting a big student loan check, the check cashing place is going to take 10%, something like something crazy. They'd take 10%. Maybe even 20%. It depends how big the check is. It depends what they want. And they're gonna snatch $200 out of your check or $100 out of your check. And then I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, why the fuck are you going to a check cashing place? Why don't you have a bank account? But then you have these people, you can't tell them shit. Oh, well, we don't trust banks. And I understand some people come from shitty countries where the banks are crooked. I understand that. But the bottom line is, you could try to explain it to them, but if it's in one ear out the other, then what are you going to tell them? I know people personally who you could not convince these idiots to go to direct deposit. You couldn't convince them. You'd be like, well, listen, why the fuck are you going to the bank and waiting online and wasting all that time when you could just get direct deposit? As soon as you wake up in the morning, the money's there. Oh, no, I don't try. I want my check in my hand. I have, there's somebody in my mind I'm thinking of right now. It was one of my aunts, in fact, aunt-in-law, I should say, an aunt-in-law. And I'm telling her, I'm like, well, why are you wasting all your fucking time? Get direct deposit. Sure enough, when COVID came around, these offices and businesses closed. So what ended up happening was they forced everybody to get direct deposit. They said, no, we don't give a fuck how you feel about it. You're going to get the direct deposit. I like the voice of authority. The voice of authority tells you to do something. And especially if it's something that's going to be more efficient, or if it's something that's going to be safer, or if it's something that they require for whatever reason. And I understand a lot of people don't like authority. A lot of people rebel against authority. The reality is, you can rebel as much as you want. Eventually, the voice of authority is going to clamp down on you and say, no. Just no. Fuck that. No. The answer is no. Like, for example, the 10 Commandments. We got the 10 Commandments. God wrote those on tablets. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not this, that, and the other. Lie, and this, that, and the other. Now, there's some people who try to bend their way around that shit, but when you end up in that courtroom and a judge says, no, then you ain't got no leg to stand on, and that's it. Voices of authority. And that's just, but see, bottom line is some people just have to get pushed in a certain direction. You know how they say that you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink? That's bullshit. You force his head under that water, and if he doesn't drink it, he's going to drown. Some people give up too easy. Don't tell me I can't force that horse to drink. Yeah, I'll drown that horse. Yeah, your lungs will be filled with water. You got two choices. Either your esophagus will be filled with water, or your larynx will be filled with water. So you choose which one you want. But I didn't bring you to this water for you to stand there and not drink the shit. I don't give up that easy. I'll drown this fucking horse. So, there's just different ways people deal with situations. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it. But anyway, let's see. God damn, this is long. Oh, well, it's almost to the end. Okay. Yet, when results like those from FINRA are released, it's easy to fall back on the idea that the solution is to ramp up more money classes in schools. More money classes in schools ain't working now. Like, they have economics courses. If you have a good economics teacher, they can teach you this stuff. Most of the kids aren't listening to this shit. Most of the kids are cutting class and smoking weed. But once these kids get a job, that's when the difference starts. That's when they understand, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that if I get paid $10 an hour and I work 10 hours and I get $100, that the government's going to take like $8.95 from me? That's when they understand. They don't understand until the voice of authority tells them in a way that they can't ignore it. When you get told something in a way that you can't ignore it, that's when you understand. And who am I talking to? Look at these people who wanted to go out and buy a car. Look at these people who wanted to go out and buy a house. They didn't give a fuck about their credit up until they went to that bank and say, yeah, I want to buy this Dodge Charger Hellcat. Oh, well, how much is it going to be? Well, your credit is shit. Your credit is a 520. So not only do we need you to put $20,000 down on the car, but on top of that, your payment's going to be $1,000 a month. Your payment's going to be $1,500 a month. Oh, but wait a minute. That's not fair. My friend Brad, he got his Hellcat, and his Hellcat is only $620 a month, and he only had to put down $7,000. Oh, yeah, well, that's because Brad's credit was an 800, and your credit is shit. That's the difference. Same thing applies for buying a house. Oh, well, yeah, you got to give us 5 years of tax returns, and we're also going to need 30%, and we're also going to need, this, that, and other. Okay, that's fine. But what about the next person who comes and wants to buy the same house, but now the interest rate is a 5% instead of a 3%? In fact, right now, the news is talking about the fact that interest rates may be 6% very soon, because the Federal Reserve is aggressively raising interest rates between September and November. Well, what if you get hit with a 6, but Brad got hit with a 3? Oh, that's racist. Brad's white. Brad got that low percent interest rate because Brad's white. No. He got that low interest rate because Brad didn't fuck up his credit with Sprint, and you did. When Brad got his phone bill, he paid it on time. When Brad got his bill for his Nissan Altima, he paid it on time. I'm thinking to my aunt, I can't make this shit up. My aunt actually had a Nissan Altima, and my aunt paid all of her bills fucking late. She was paying more for her Nissan than my aunt. No, I'm sorry, I have a couple of aunts, but anyway, she was paying more on that piece of shit Nissan than I was paying for my Chrysler SRT, and she was paying more than even my mom was paying on her Cadillac of that time. Credit matters. I know there's a lot of these these fake dumbass YouTubers who keep trying to talk about, oh yeah, don't play the credit game. All you got to do is save up cash. That shit ain't fucking happening. And then there's a couple of you who could. Maybe your grandma dies and leaves you some money. Maybe your parents are rich or something. Different strokes, different folks. But the average person ain't saving no cash for this shit. What is it called? Deferred payments is the national anthem. Deferred payments. Everything's deferred payments. You remember how this country said you were going to get 40 acres and a mule? Yeah, well, where's that at? Deferred payment, motherfucker. In fact, as far as I know, they didn't tell you where those 40 acres have to be. Because for all I know, they could say, yeah, we're going to give you 40 acres and a mule, but it's going to be on Mars. And then once we get to Mars, you'll get your 40 acres. And we'll give you a mule, but, the mule won't be able to breathe carbon dioxide, so you're going to have a little bit of a problem with that. Man, let me tell you something. This country has done nothing but deferred payment. Are you any surprise? Is there any surprise at all that people are not financially literate? Is there any surprise? Do you think T-Mobile and AT&T and Apple and Google and Samsung, do you think they want you to be financially literate? I'm pretty sure the answer is fucking no. Apple has normalized $400 watches. Apple has normalized an $800 watch. Apple has normalized $1,000 cell phones. Samsung is charging $1,800 for a phone that folds in half. Do you think these people want you to say to yourself, I don't think that an $1,800 folding phone is going to fit in my budget. I don't think that an $800 watch is going to fit into my budget. I don't think that a $50,000 Dodge Scat Pack is going to fit my budget. I don't think that a $300,000 Urus that costs $4,000 a month is going to fit my budget. This country doesn't want you financially fucking literate. Are you kidding? It's sad because you have people who literally ask, oh, why don't they teach us this in school? Are you kidding? If they wanted you to know it, they'd be teaching it. They don't want you to know it. Because the last thing that this country wants is educated consumers. An educated consumer consumes less. There's no way not to consume. You're always going to have to buy stuff. You got to buy food. You're going to have to buy clothes. You're going to have to buy laundry detergent and shit. You're going to have to buy, I don't know, appliances. You're going to have to buy cars. But the more educated you are, the less of it you're going to consume. Warren Buffett's driving around fucking used Cadillacs, for God's sakes. The guy has more money than God, and he could buy anything on this planet. Maybe even some countries. The man's driving around in a used Cadillac. And even if he bought a new Cadillac, my thing is I want to see Warren Buffett buy a Cadillac Lyric. I mean, shit, he's got it. Don't buy it used, Warren Buffett. Buy it new. But Warren Buffett don't live like that. Warren Buffett's like, no, I got to pinch every penny. No, that's not how he talks. I just want to buy it, and me and Charlie, we're just gonna buy our cars, and we're gonna make the best of. We're gonna make do with what we have, Yeah, educated people spend less money. That's the bottom line. They don't want you to fucking know this stuff. They want you in debt. $10,000 loan forgiveness, and you owe $40,000. Oh, please. The FINRA findings are a wake-up call in some respects. Yeah, not to me. That more needs to be done to ramp up basic financial skills. Oh, you mean like counting? And will have a lasting impact on the finances of millions of Americans and in turn the economy. But it's only part of the puzzle. I really don't think it's the financial literacy community that's saying that financial education alone will save everything. All right, let's keep going. Okay, we're almost done. And for those of you checking to see if you had the right responses to FINRA's questions, here you go. More than 102, less than today, false. There you go. Those are three answers. That's it. Now, what was the other? It says new 401k statements could confuse folks about their retirement savings. What did I just say? You think they want you to know how much money you're going to... And no matter how much you save up, it's not going to be enough. Many Americans want to work longer than they actually do. Yeah, because you're not getting enough hours for health care. You have to have like 40 hours for them to pay your health care. And you're probably not making enough money to make ends meet. Americans are retiring later in life versus 30 years ago. No shit. Maybe it's got something to do with the fact that you're in debt for so long that you have no choice but to keep on working. And this is where I'm going to get ready to end this. I said just this retirement thing, because that's the thing a lot of the people are focused on right now is the retirement. Let me tell you something. I've got 10 more years to deal with this bullshit, and then I'm out. 10 more years and out. I am not going to retire and end up like my parents where they say, oh, I'm so bored. I have to do something. I've got to do... No. Fuck that. I am probably going to rent my properties because by the time I'm retired, my parents may or may not even be still alive. And whatever property they have, I'm going to consume. And I'm going to, use it to, make more money. But the bottom line is... I could see myself right now. And by the way, it's always important when you're choosing a career and when you're focusing on your future, you got to say, where do you see yourself in 10 or 15 years? Well, this is where I see myself. I'm going to be on some... This is what it is. Hold on one second. This place may look expensive, but when you travel overseas, and this is the reason why you got to have your passport, places like Southeast Asia, specifically Southeast Asia, you can live like this. You listening? You can live like this for about $15 to $20 a day. Pool, nice house or nice space. Some of these places you may share with other people. It depends on whether you want to share or not. But the thing about it is, you can actually live like this for $15 to $20 a day. And even if I push that number up higher to $30 a day, which it's actually not, because Vietnam, you can live like this for about $15 a day. Cambodia, you can live like this for about $15 a day. Philippines, you can live like this for about $15 a day. Thailand, it might cost you about $20. But the reality is, for $2,000 to $3,000 per month, especially when you're retired and you know you got that money, that pension coming in, and you know that you've got your rental incomes coming in from your rentals in America. Because I'll leave this shit right here to Airbnb, and they can rent it out whoever they want. I don't care. Bottom line is, somebody just has to manage it, like, hold on to the keys and this, that, and other, and make sure that people don't destroy the place. Thing about it is, my properties are going to be rented out, and I'm going to be in some nice, warm country. And I'm going to be relaxed just like every single summer or every single vacation. I'm going to be in that water, and I'm going to be relaxed, not doing a goddamn thing. And if I do want a job, then my job will simply be just YouTubing, and I'll be even more of a professional YouTuber. But this rat race that these people are going to be stuck in, I'm not doing it. Not a damn bit longer than I want to. See this place? This is yet another one. And by the way, I actually priced these places out. They're especially the Philippines, and that's the reason why you see a lot of Americans go there. They go there, they go to Thailand, and they retire there because they got that money coming in. All you got to do is prove to the government that you have a pension coming in, and they don't have a problem with you staying there. They just want to make sure that you don't become a burden to their government. Bottom line is, you got to set aside a little bit for your retirement, and you got to make sure that you got that. If you have between $3,000 and $4,000 coming in every single month, which most retirees pretty much do, that's all I need to live just like this till I die. And my only job will be YouTubing, if YouTube's still around, or my only job will be journalism or something nice and simple. I'll still pay taxes back in America because I'll still have property here. I would never give up my property because I'll leave that to my kids or whatever. But the bottom line is, that's all you need is about $3,000 or $4,000 income, and you can take care of your health care, you can take care of your housing, you can eat cheap, because if you've been to Thailand, food is cheap, Philippines, food is cheaper. And you can live like this, all the rest of your life of retirement. So I have parents, they don't want to travel like that. They don't want to be that far away from home. Me personally, I don't give a damn. I want to travel like that. I want to live that far away and only have to come back here for little business purposes every now and then, to which point I'll be flying business class back and forth. But all you got to do is wake up, do your hobby, do your little hustle, whatever it is, and just chill and relax and not have to worry about the insanity going on here. You just imagine that for 1 second, why don't you? And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but what about the buko juice? Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the buko juice. I'm going to have a nice, lovely wife serving me the buko juice on foreign soil. And all I'm going to do all day is swimming under the sun, boating, I've never fished in my entire life because I just never cared to fish. I'm going to learn to fish because I'm going to have nothing to do all day but sit under the sun in that 80, 90 degree water and just fish. And let me tell you something, I won't even catch the fish to eat them. I'm going to catch them just to prove that I could and then just throw them back, because I just won't care, because I'll be eating all that lovely lechon belly and that sisig and that what is it called? All of those lovely Filipino foods and those lovely Thai food. If I'm in Thailand, I'll be eating that lovely Thai food. The rest of y'all will be busy here fighting each other and the government because y'all didn't get your passport like I told you to get your passport. So I've got my retirement planned out. I'm not joining any schools. I'm not getting no PhDs. I'm not trying to do any work at all. I'm gonna lay myself down in that sand, and I'm gonna have my beautiful, lovely wife serving me the buco juice. Now you tell me what you think about them apples.